What's up guys, it's your boy, Penny Skinnis, and I gotta say, life's been a little rough recently. The other day, I went to Wendy's, and they handed me the most unappetizing burger I have ever seen. And being a patron of the store for 5 years, I decided I would go back, and I would give it a try again, because one burger could just be a fluke. And I shit you not, a week later, that burger was just as awful looking as the first, still tasted alright, but basically, even though I knew that burger was lackluster, I took it, because I'm a pretty content person. And that is one of the main differences between me and Elon Musk, who would have taken one look at that first burger and said, "This place sucks dick. Who is running this joint?" Hi, yes, that would be me. I'm the owner. Not anymore, you ain't. Now, if you live under a rock, you might have not heard, Elon Musk just bought Twitter. Usually, when we're talking about companies being bought and sold, it's by other companies. One of the greatest examples I can think of, and all of you have probably heard of, was that time that Twitter bought out the most influential platform ever, Vine, then took it out behind the woodshed where they proceeded to kill it with acute lead poisoning. Let me just give you a visual example of what happened. Wow, that's a nice dog you got there. Why, thank you. He's placed pretty high in multiple dog shows. Wow, that's awesome. I was actually thinking of signing my dog up pretty soon. What a very beautiful looking dog. He's so well groomed and muscular and threatening. You know what? I'll give you $30 million for your dog. What do you say? Oh wow. $30 million? That's a lot of money. Well, boy, if he's willing to pay that much for you, I'm sure he's gonna take really good care of you. I won't forget to visit you every single day. Well, it's been a pleasure doing business with you. That was definitely not worth $30 million. Today, you have people with so much money, they can just decide to buy stuff whenever they want, including companies. So now Musk is buying Twitter, and why is that such a big thing? Why is it such a big deal to everyone? Well, that's because right now, Twitter is a publicly traded company. That means that if you have money, you could buy a small piece of Twitter called a stock. Elon Musk has decided to just buy all of the stocks for a whopping $44 billion. Now, meaning he is the sole owner of the company and can do whatever he wants with it. When a company is publicly traded, the opinions of the stockholders matter, or the shareholders, because they hold a share of the company. Our story goes back to late March. Musk tweets out a poll. Free speech is an essential part to a functioning democracy. Do you believe Twitter Do you believe Twitter rigorously adheres to these principles? The consequences of this poll will be important. Please vote carefully. The results of the poll weren't shocking. 70% of 2 million people believes Twitter doesn't adhere to the principle of free speech. Now, if you've ever been on Twitter, you know they have their fair share of issues when it comes to censorship. If I try to call someone a dickhead, I get a warning that says, "Hey man, this tweet isn't very poggers. Are you sure you want to send it?" Let me think. Yes, I did in fact mean to type DICKHEAD into my keyboard and hit enter. Given that Twitter serves as the de facto public town square, failing to adhere to free speech principles fundamentally undermines democracy. What should be done? Is a new platform needed? So for a while, people were speculating that Musk was going to start his own social media platform, and I'm pretty sure no one really had any idea that he planned to actually buy Twitter. And in early April, it was announced that he had bought about $4 billion worth of the company, which came out to around 9%. Now it's probably a good time to mention he actually broke the law in his purchase. Government regulation requires that if you're buying up 5% or more of a company, you have to disclose it when you hit 5%. Basically, you have to tell everyone else in the room, "Hey, I'm buying 5% of this company," so the market can react to that large purchase. He did not do this, so he's gonna have to pay somewhere in the 6 figures worth of fines. Not that it really matters to someone worth $300 billion. So Musk buys 9% of the company, which is a lot more than the co-founder Jack Dorsey has, and a lot more than the acting CEO. Now, this is what we can call the early stage of panic for the people at Twitter. I'm excited to share that we're appointing Elon Musk to our board. Through conversations with Musk in recent weeks, it became clear to us that he would bring great value to our board. 5 days later, he says that Elon Musk turned down the position. Elon has decided not to join our board. I sent a brief note to the company, sharing with you all here. He explains in the note that before it was finalized, Elon Musk stated that he was no longer interested in being on the board. Now let's take a second to think this through. true. Musk owns almost 10% of the company, more than anyone else in the company owns themselves. He turned down a position on the board of directors, who at the end of the day decide the decisions made at Twitter. So what do you think, just from this perspective, is his battle plan? How is he going to change the platform if he's not even on the board? He's just going to try to buy the rest of it. I made an offer. I invested in Twitter because I believe in its potential to be a platform for free speech around the globe, and I believe free speech is a societal imperative for a functioning democracy. However, since making my investment, I now realize the company will neither thrive nor serve this societal imperative. Twitter needs to be transformed as a private company. As a result, I am offering to buy 100% of Twitter for $54.20. Nice. Per share in cash, a 54% premium over the day before I began investing in Twitter, and a 38% premium over the day before my investment was publicly announced. My offer is my best and final offer, and if it is not accepted, I would need to reconsider my position as a shareholder. Twitter has extraordinary potential. I will unlock it. God damn. Let's break this down. Musk is offering $54.20 per share in cash for the company. That means anyone holding a stock on the board would give their stock to him, he'd give them $54 a piece, and he'd be the sole owner of this company and be able to run it privately. Now, at the same time he's making this offer, the boards at Twitter are considering what's called a poison pill, which is a mechanism they can kick into place to lower the percentage of stock that Elon holds by basically throwing in more stock to the market that people who already own Twitter stocks can buy at a discount. Because if they pile on more stock, then he has less leverage. Now, why do they want him to have less leverage? Because of one of the last sentences in his statement to purchase the company. My offer is my best and final, and if it is not accepted, I would need to reconsider my position as a shareholder. Now this, my friends, is what we call a threat, and explains why he bought 9% of the company before trying to buy the rest of it. If he owned zero stock in the company and offered this deal to them, they could easily just say no. What is there he can do about it? Not much, really. But what Elon has done is used 10% of the company in what is practically a hostage situation.
If in this case you are not successful in, the board does not accept your offer, you've said you won't go higher, is there a plan B?
There is.
I think we would like to hear a little bit about plan B.
For another time, I think.
Another time?
Yeah.
All right.
He is telling them, sell me the company for this really good deal, $44 billion, or I will take this stock that is currently going for over $40 and I will drop them all on the market for like $5 a piece. It's an exaggerated number I came up with, but that's basically what he's saying. He would sell all of his stock for a low price, which would tank the Twitter stock overall. He would be losing billions of dollars, but he'd basically be sentencing the stock price to death as well. So now it makes sense why he bought 9% before he tried to buy the rest of the company. A couple days ago, it was announced that the deal was probably going to go through. It's going to take some time to finalize, but Elon has basically bought Twitter. People are absolutely losing their minds. And as you're about to see, these people are the exact kind of people we don't want running Twitter. One of Twitter's top lawyers, who's internally seen as the company's moral authority, started crying during a meeting because of the significant uncertainties about what the company will look like under Musk's leadership. You guys understand who we don't want running Twitter. A bunch of pussies. Now, Twitter already has a pretty heavy lean that's pretty noticeable if you dig for more than 5 seconds.
So if someone threatened the lives of someone else, would you ban that account? Like, let's say someone tweeted 3 times, kill these people, I want them dead, 3 times.
Yes, that's a violation.
You didn't
of
ban him,
rules.
though. During Covington, this guy said multiple times he wanted his followers to go and kill these kids.
And we have to look at that, but we also have to look in the context.
And while Musk says that his plan is to make it a neutral platform and keep it that way, people in the media are trying to smear it like he's some kind of racist and his ultimate goal is to just be able to say the N-word with no consequence.
Imagine a world, Raiden, free of cancel culture, where no one can call me out for my outlandish claims. A world where I can say the N-word.
What?
I mean, technically, he's African American, so.
And the bottom line is, as you said, if they don't want to just be in the club. They are on the, they've been described as being on the outside of the culture, looking in through the glass. But they don't just want to come in. They want to come in and be able to punch people in the face and walk around and laugh about it and not have anyone be able to stop them. The enjoyment they get out of being in this town square is being able to harass people, being able to attack people. There was a time when people had the double hashtags around their names because they were Jewish, and right-wingers were saying, get in the oven anytime you made any benign comment on Twitter. They attacked women. The misogyny was crazy on Twitter for a while. Elon Musk, I guess he misses the old South Africa in the 80s. He wants that back.
So just because Elon Musk believes that people should be able to say things that you don't agree with, he is a racist. And he wants government-backed segregation based on race. It reminds me of one of those like Illuminati confirmed jokes people used to make, where they take completely unrelated things and try to tie it into Illuminati. Well, fire trucks have 4 wheels and 8 people ride on them. 4 plus 8 is 12. There are 12 inches in a ruler. Queen Elizabeth was a ruler. There was a ship named Queen Elizabeth. Ships are in the sea. Fish are in the sea. Fish have fins. Fin has 3 letters in it. Triangles have 3 points. Therefore, Illuminati confirmed. I'd also just like to point out, for some reason, Google hides any search results for Illuminati confirmed. There's literally like what are these links? There is nothing. But I go on DuckDuckGo and I get like the usual stuff I'm looking for, like the Urban Dictionary definition and stuff like that. So yeah, just food for thought. But they're unironically doing that with Elon Musk. They're saying because he believes that people should be able to say things that you yourself don't agree with, this is awful. This is terrible. This means that he must believe those things even though he doesn't agree with it.
A good sign as to whether there is free speech is someone you don't like allowed to say something you don't like. And if that is the case, then we have free speech. And it's damn annoying when someone you don't like says something you don't like. That is a sign of a healthy, functioning free speech situation.
So he believes that people should be able to say stuff even if you do not agree with it, which is basically where I stand. That's like literally the position I hold. I've always thought and I've always said, just because I don't agree with what someone says or what someone thinks, it doesn't mean I don't believe they should be able to say or think those things. As a principle, I think it's way better to combat the speech of stupid people with facts or logical arguments rather than just saying, nope, you're banned, get out of here, you don't get to talk no more. Or in most cases, I just laugh at the stupidity of these people. Y'all know what a lolcow is? Basically a person that you just make fun of based on what they make or things they say. Alex Jones, great lolcow. He says a bunch of stupid stuff.
An intergalactic mosquito!
And people make fun of him.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay!
He got banned from like everything at once, and that basically just killed Alex Jones' lolcow content. You can't laugh at him anymore because you don't see any of his shit anymore. Martin Cabello.
Somebody asked me if I'm autistic. I'm autistic as shit. Cocaine. No. Flower.
Dude's insane. But if you banned him because of the stupid and insane stuff he says, that would be less stuff to laugh at. One of the biggest things that people get wrong in this discussion are the very clear things that are not free speech that will not be allowed on the platform no matter who owns it. Threats towards other people. Highly illegal. That means if someone says, hey, I'm gonna kill you, or threatens any other type of violence towards you, that isn't just against terms of service, but it is against the law. That means you can go to the police with this information. Along with that, inciting violence is also still very illegal. Inciting violence would be telling other groups of people to do violent things, or things that are illegal. The problem is, even though Twitter already has these rules, they don't seem to be enforced evenly. One of the biggest problems they have is with how they define harassment and bullying. A great example of this is the Learn to Code incident. Back in 2015, there was an article written about coal miners being laid off from their jobs. The question was, could these coal miners learn how to code and get a job in the tech industry? The term became synonymous as a tone-deaf way of telling someone to get a new job. Joe Bingus even used it in 2019. The term was later adopted as a way to tell journalists that they suck at their job, the implication being they should quit and learn how to code because they're not very good at this journalism stuff. And journalists responded by saying that this was an attack on the media and targeted harassment. So Twitter literally just started suspending anyone saying learn to code. Twitter's moral authority tried to defend the fact they did this, but really couldn't do anything but deflect. The main problem is they don't actually have a solid term for harassment. Elon Musk thinks that instead of deciding what is and isn't harassment, that any speech that is legal should be allowed. And I completely agree with this. This is how we should have been doing it. Anyone worried about harassment or bullying from someone can hit this magical button called the block button. Ever since my first year of high school, I had never understood why everyone was complaining so much or like so worried about cyberbullying. Just hit the off button, bro. It's not that hard. Block them, mute them, something. There's so many tools to keep you from being harassed. Like I've said in a couple previous videos, you have the ability ability to live in your little echo chamber, have your little bubble, you know? You could just be the online bubble boy, never saying anything that upsets you. And that's completely fine, that's valid, you can do that. But if random people on the internet saying words that you don't like upsets you, then I'm sorry, you're just a little bit too soft. Grow thicker skin. I promise you, it's better for you in the long run. The way you choose to react to someone's stupidity on the internet is 100% up to you. I could go on about this all day. If you guys want to send me videos of pussies on the internet to react to, then go ahead. But let's move on to more Elon Musk buying Twitter stuff.
It's very important that the algorithm be open sourced and that any manual adjustments be identified. Like, so if somebody did something to a tweet, there's information attached to it that that action was taken. And I won't personally be, in there editing tweets. But you'll know if something was done to promote, demote, or otherwise affect a tweet.
So this is all pretty interesting stuff right here. So he's saying that he's going to put the algorithm that Twitter uses to send tweets to you online so anyone can see it, anyone can download it and use it in their code, use it on their social media website. And he's also saying he wants to add a disclaimer on any tweet that is being artificially promoted or demoted by the algorithm. So an example of this disclaimer is that whenever a tweet is actually an ad run by a company that they're paying for to be sent to you, there's a little promoted label at the bottom. So he's basically saying if Twitter is pushing a specific tweet to you, it's going to say Twitter is pushing this tweet to you. But one of the biggest reasons people are interested in seeing the Twitter algorithm, which is kind of like shrouded in mystery, is because of things like shadow banning, which is where you artificially throttle traffic to a post or to a user to artificially cut the traffic that user or post is getting. And in the past, Twitter has admitted to doing this. It's not a secret that it's a thing. It's not some conspiracy. The real question is, are they targeting any specific people, or are they artificially boosting other people? If Elon Musk releases the Twitter algorithm onto the internet so it's open source, that means we'd be able to see if they're actually doing that. And the other big change everyone's excited about is the addition of an edit button. Musk has stated that he wants an edit button. How is the edit button gonna work? He's not exactly sure. One of the concerns is the fact that things are retweeted. So here's an outlandish example. You see a post that says, "I love the Jews," and you're like, you know what? I love the Jews. The Jews are awesome. So you retweet this, and everyone on your timeline, everyone who follows you sees that you retweeted, "I love Jews." But alas, it was a trap. An hour later, the poster of this tweet uses the edit button to change the tweet, and it now says, "I do not like Jews." You don't notice for hours. Your friends and family think you're anti-Semitic because you have this tweet on your timeline. Your dog dies, your mom gets cancer, your girlfriend dumps you, and you lose your house in a game of rock, paper, scissors. And while sitting in a cardboard refrigerator box on the side of the road, you think to yourself, if only I didn't retweet that person. Some of the ideas he's pitched is like a limited amount of time after posting you're allowed to edit a tweet, or if you edit your tweet it won't reflect in the retweets. He also said he's open to ideas if anyone has anything better. There are also ideas flying around that he's going to make it a freemium service so users can pay for a subscription and maybe they'll be able to post longer tweets or something like that. Honestly, I'm excited to see where it goes, but there's this lingering fear that Apple or Google could literally just say, "Oh, you're trying to open up speech? Well, let's just take you off the freaking app store," which would immediately show the bias that lies there, which is there. Honestly, while making this video, I had to do some research using DuckDuckGo, and holy shit, dude, the results they give you on Google are so freaking censored. Looking up Alex Jones on Google does not bring up like anything Alex Jones. It brings up people talking about Alex Jones, which is stupid. It's not what I asked for. I asked for the clip of him saying intergalactic mosquitoes. That's about all we have time for today. Tell me what you guys think. Special thanks to all my Twitch subscribers. You guys are pretty PogChamp. I'm gonna start putting your guys' names at the end of every single video as a thank you. If it wasn't for you, I'd be making jack all with this content creation thing. Special thanks to OP Randomness for buying merch. If you want to support me too, you can go over to managerjojo.com, buy some merch. Follow me on Twitch. I also have a Twitter if you want to see me tweet some dumb shit. Have a good day.